Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here this evening and to be invited by my friend Hussam and to speak here on behalf of the Labour Party. And Hussam, your speech was incredibly moving. Your personal accounts really hit home about the impact of the Nakba on Palestinian people. This year, we mark 75 years since what is known by the Palestinians as the Nakba, or catastrophe, and the mass displacement of Palestinians, with over 5 million Palestinian refugees living across the Middle East today. And it is an opportunity to share my commitment once again as the Shadow Minister for the Middle East and North Africa, to stand in solidarity with the Palestinian people and continue our efforts towards the realization of Palestinian rights and a Palestinian state, which is key to creating a just and peaceful future for both Palestinians and Israelis. Labour is wholeheartedly committed to the right of self-determination for both the Palestinians and the Jewish people, and that must mean two states for two peoples. But sadly today, a vision of peaceful future looks like a distant hope. It has been utterly tragic to witness the escalation of violence in recent months, and yet more Palestinian and Israeli lives lost. This week, we've seen civilians once again paying a terrible price, with Palestinian civilians killed in airstrikes and hundreds of rockets fired at the Israeli civilians. This cycle of violence only leads us further away from the path to a lasting peace. I believe every Palestinian and Israeli deserves a just solution to this conflict, but we cannot deny the ongoing occupation of the Palestinian territories and its impact on human rights protections for Palestinians. We must not shy away from naming the occupation as an obstacle to peace. I have done so and will continue to do so, and oppose all actions which make peace harder to achieve. The continued enforcement of the occupation has meant Palestinians have been subject to home demolitions, forced displacement, settler violence, movement restrictions, arbitrary detention, and systemic discrimination. And Gaza has been subject to a punishing blockade for 16 years, which has contributed to a humanitarian and health crisis. I have seen the impact of this firsthand, including when visiting West Bank and East Jerusalem last year. And it's why I strongly believe it will not be a just and lasting peace until the occupation is brought to a permanent end and both Palestinians and Israelis enjoy security, dignity, and human rights. And as the occupying power, Israel must comply with its obligations under international law. But as we know, since the formation of the new Israeli coalition government led by Prime Minister Netanyahu, alongside extreme far-right elements, there have been a renewed assault on the rights of Palestinians, a ramping up of inflammatory rhetoric and dangerous new moves to try to legitimize illegal settlements, threatening the viability of a two-state solution. The Labour Party will continue to be a strong and consistent advocates for justice, human rights, and international law in this conflict. And I'd like to end by reiterating our steadfast commitment to a negotiated diplomatic settlement based on two states, a thriving and sovereign Palestine state alongside a safe and secure Israel. We believe there can be no viable peace settlement without a Palestinian state. To respect and honour the Palestinian people's right to self-determination, they must have a viable, sovereign, democratic state of their own. For more than a decade, Labour has consistently supported the principle of recognising a Palestinian statehood as part of continuing steps to achieve a comprehensive two-state solution. We believe statehood for the Palestinians is not a gift to be given, but a right to be recognised. And as we reflect on 75 years, the UK's historic and moral obligations remain clear. We have a duty to do all we can to foster peace, the rule of international law, and the sanctity of human rights. Thank you.